Hi and welcome to Soulful. In today's video we are speaking all about finding our why and the importance of doing that when we're establishing our yoga practice. So today I have with me not only my partner Callum, but he is a life coach and master practitioner and has been in the health and fitness world for the last 10 years, and he's coached and helped hundreds of people with all sorts of goals
from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So we have him here today to speak to us about this topic. So over to you, Callum. If there's anything else I needed to add there.
No, I think after the numerous attempts we did for that intro, we'll just go from there.
You know.
Okay, so from what Em's told me, obviously the point of today's video is to link in with you all figuring out, your why for yoga. But as Em rightly said there, it's the same process and the same blueprint finding your why for yoga as it is for finding your why for anything. And ultimately, without your why, you just have a goal and an idea, but it has no emotion behind it, it has no energy behind it, it has nothing really supporting it past the obstacles which will arise, past the inconveniences, past the things that are going to block you from getting that mat out and putting it down or finding your space to practice, and all the other obstacles that come up within every goal, right? I'm sure you've experienced that before.
No, for sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So essentially, one of the most important reasons we want to find our why is so that these incredible goals that we create, these incredible ideas, desires and ambitions that we have, whether it's to be a full-time yogi, or whether it's to be an incredible mother, or whether it's to be absolutely smashing it in your career, whatever it may be, these incredible plans also need an incredible why. They need the juice, they need the energy, they need the emotion to fuel the actions so that you can go over, under, around, or through the obstacles which will arise on your journey towards success.
So one of the biggest things as a teacher that I certainly find whether it's with my one-on-one clients or people that come to my classes, is that they struggle sometimes to really create a home practice. And I think actually that's something that I've been there myself with when I've tried to roll my mat out, and it's always come to the point that I've maybe forgotten why it is that I roll my mat out every day, why it is that I've got this practice, what I use it for, what it brings to me in my life, and I have a certain way, I guess, in which I remember that, but I think that kind of heavily ties into the establishing the why. So
it certainly does, yeah. So that's a great example actually of inconveniences and blockages and obstacles that will arise on your journey towards starting yoga and establishing a practice, and then getting to the point where it's just habitual, it's just in your behaviour. You are just someone who does yoga and you don't necessarily have to think about it.
And make time, yeah, because I think that's the biggest thing. It's the conversations that we have quite a lot around, I don't have time to practice. I've got children, I've got a life, I've got a job, and I don't have time. Now, I can probably guess and bet that you've definitely got 10 minutes in your day, every day, that you could put towards a practice or put towards something, but it's about creating this connection to why it is that you're doing it, so it's always connecting into that bigger thing.
Yeah.
The bigger, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And the way we would call this in mindset coaching or life coaching is establishing more reasons to act, or more emotional weight to the reasons to act, as opposed to the reasons not to act. Yes, we all have the same amount of time in the day, but we all have lots of different obligations and lots of different priorities that will vary between who we are and what we're doing in life, and that's absolutely legit. The difference is, okay, look, if you want to actually do something, if you want to be someone who practices yoga, we have to see that as a goal in itself, and then from here we've got to go, okay, if you want to do it, know and expect, I call it anticipate the storm, that yeah, there's going to be lots of inconveniences. Yes, there's going to be times where you plan to do yoga here, but something came up, the kids needed something, husband needed something, friends needed something, you had to do something else, and that's okay as well. What we're mainly talking about though is establishing your why, i.e. the real core reason why you want to do yoga, so that some of the less real inconveniences don't get put up the priority list. Like, some of those things that are inconvenient are just inconvenient. They shouldn't be the reasons to take away your practice of yoga. When you're starting any goal, we all know this, you're doing something that you haven't yet done before, so obviously it's going to be easier to just do the things that you are used to doing, even if they're not good for you. So particularly at the start of this journey, it's super important we understand, okay, why is it so important to you, so that when those inconveniences arise, as I said earlier, the obstacles, your brain, your psyche is going to be able to outweigh the motivational scales, we could call it. It's going to go, okay, this is the inconvenience, but my why means more to me. Okay, doesn't matter, I'm going to do this. Start to kind of trade them off. That's how the brain works.
Okay, awesome. So we've established what the why is, and we've established that we are always going to crop up against obstacles. So I guess the next stage is finding the why.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's not something to be taken lightly. You know, your why is one of the most powerful things you can become aware of in your life for anything. Particularly for the goals that aren't too trivial. I mean, these goals where it actually really, really means something to you. It could be life-changing, particularly like taking up a yoga practice.
Or exactly, I mean,
anything
career
change, relationships, everything. Any goal that is of the real substantial potential for an incredible outcome deserves and requires a why. So let's quickly review. We know that the why is the emotional connection to the outcome. So it's the thing that pulls you from where you are now to where you want to be. It helps you go over, under, around, or through any of the obstacles which will arise on your journey towards success, right? Inconveniences, whatever they may be, big or small. Now, as I just said a moment ago, we kind of want to get more reasons or more weight on the scale of motivation for reasons to act than reasons not to act. And if you can find your why, well, that's the heaviest, in a really positive way, thing you can put in those scales to really outweigh reasons not to act and make it reasons to act. You're going to be then flying. Body's been offering some whys, and from the sounds of things, you've been really kind of getting straight to the point of the emotional point and the heart.
Beautiful.
And it's been beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm sure it has. And that's a great start, because what that tells me is you're already coming away from logic. So what I mean by this is, often when we have a goal, we have a reason for the goal that is quite logical and analytical. We're still stuck in our head brain. We're still stuck in, in this overthinking space, and it's kind of okay, but it's not going to be that powerful. And I'll give you the example from my health and fitness career. But most people's surface level goal is just lose weight and tone up. That's the typical example.
And actually sometimes a reason for people taking up a yoga practice.
Yeah.
It might be flexibility.
Yeah.
Awesome. Toning,
all those things, and none of them are bad reasons. They're just not strong enough reasons to overcome the obstacles which will test you on your journey towards success. Now, that's not to say that at some point they aren't connected to some of the stronger reasons. However, we want that connection to be as clear and as crystal clear as possible, so that when the obstacles arise, it's like, no, I have my why. Of course I can get over this, because you're so clear, you're more clear on your why than you are on the obstacle in front of you, if that makes sense. So what we want to do, and I'm going to make this a bit more of a simpler version for now, but this will certainly help you start to dig deeper into your goals, get out of logic and into emotion, into your heart center. And all you're going to do is take your goal. For instance, your goal is to have a yoga practice, and then you're going to attach to that goal a question. The question is super simple. Why is having a yoga practice important to me? And I know you've all started that. Now, once you get your initial answer there, I want you to then repeat that first answer, and then repeat the question. So for instance, answer to why my yoga practice is so important to me is because I value my health and I want to become more flexible. Great. So the fact that you value your health and want to become more flexible is awesome. And why is that important to you, or why is that important to me? And what I would suggest is there is some other questions you can ask and lots of other things you can do. But again, in the pursuit to keep this as simple as possible right now, just repeat that process 4 or 5 times. You're doing this because it's helping you get down through your logical levels, as I said earlier, into your heart center, into your emotion. The emotion is what we need to attach to our required actions, which take us from where we are now to where we want to be to achieve our goals. As I said, this then helps you outweigh the reasons not to act with the reasons to act, with using your why and establishing that. So this exercise, as simple as it is, will really help you get deeper and deeper and closer to your why. Perhaps to finish off, I could give everyone an example of someone who I worked with, their why, and because this is something I've used before and he's happy for me to share it. Okay?
Perfect.
Cool. So years ago, when I was a full-time personal trainer, I had a client and he was wanting to, as I said earlier, lose weight and tone up and get a little bit fitter. And I was very used to having this goal offered to me on a daily basis, and it is the kind of general goal you get offered as a personal trainer. However, also as a personal trainer, I knew that often that goal wasn't achieved, and one of the many reasons is because people didn't know why they wanted to achieve it. And so using the ideas that we've offered to you today, I'll give you an example of what happened in the conversation that I had with this client to take him from his surface level goal, lose weight, tone up, get fitter, to what became his why, which is what helped him really accomplish some incredible things in his health and fitness time and personal training time with me. So essentially what I did was ask him those questions. So okay, you want to lose weight, tone up and get fitter, why is that important to you? And we started having a conversation around why that was important to him, and the initial answer was something around, because I want to feel better about myself, I want to look better, I want to look like I did when I was in my 20s, and be stronger. Okay, great. So you want to look like you did in yourself, look like you did in your 20s, you want to be stronger. Why is that important to you? Well, I just want to I want to feel fit, I want to feel more confident, I want to have more energy. Great. This is the long story short, by the way. Okay, you want to have more energy, you want to feel more confident. Awesome. Why is that important to you? Well, you see, every time I work away 5 days a week. So in the weekends I go back, but I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I want to see my wife and my 2 sons and have quality time with them. I don't feel I've got the energy to really offer that to them, nor do I feel that happy, because I've seen and noticed as over the years of working away, living in hotels, my body is slowly but surely putting on some weight. I'm losing my strength, all these different things that can happen, which then obviously going to have that psychological and emotional impact. So obviously his relationship with his wife was being impacted as well. And okay, so you want to be able to have more energy and feel confident. Why is that important to you? Well, I want to have an even better relationship with my wife, because I feel more confident with me. I also want to have more energy for the kids and my wife when I go back at the weekend, so I can play with the kids and take them all out and have a great time with them. Awesome. Now we're getting somewhere, because now the life's back in his eyes. Now he's actually excited about talking about his goal. It doesn't seem like such a chore and ticking a box of being to see personal trainer for the week. He's actually excited about his goals again. Cool. So why is that important to you? And you'd think that maybe we stopped at this point, but no. The art of this process is to get past logic, hit that barrier of confusion where it's like really difficult to answer this, and find some emotion. So I can see at this point he's getting excited, so I know I'm getting closer. We continued the conversation for what may have been 10 to 20 minutes, and eventually what happened was he started to talk about playing with the kids and wanting to be this dad that they can look up to, and he talked about this tree in the garden. And the tree, he'd been in that garden for years, and he wanted to one day be able to do a pull-up on the tree, because that would be symbolic of him having the strength that he wanted to gain, also losing the weight, being in that fitness space that he wanted to be in. And he had this vision of his kids watching him do this pull-up on the tree, which is almost like this symbol of him accomplishing his goal. And so with intrigue and curiosity, as you should be with everything when you're finding your goals, I asked him, okay, great, well, why is that vision so important to you? And for him, the answer was, because I know that will help me make my kids proud of me. I'll be a father that they can be proud of. I'll be someone that they aspire to be like and want to then be fit because of me and look after themselves because of me. And at this point he's kind of semi-welling up because he's got this absolute connection to the fact that he'll be this father who can inspire his kids to want to look after themselves, be strong, be healthy, and be proud of him, and be a real leader that he wants to be. And we went on a little bit longer, but I think you can see the difference here. We went from lose weight, tone up, get fitter to I want to make my kids proud. I want my kids to be inspired to be healthy. Now look, next time the obstacle comes up of, oh, I've been at work all day till 6 p.m. and I know I've got to go to the gym. Before it would be like, well, because I want to lose weight, get toned up and fitter. Now it's like, do you think he's really going to not go to the gym after just feeling a little bit tired? Now he knows the reason he's doing it is because he wants to make his kids proud and he wants to inspire them to look after themselves and be healthy. No, a little bit of tiredness is not going to get in the way. Same as when he's in the supermarket and he's about to grab the crap food. Do you think he's going to do that when he's got this other reason? You know, you see where I'm going with this, right? And I could go on and on and on. And anyway, it was a successful story. And I often repeat to him during sessions when he was lagging a little bit, Steve, do you want to make them proud? And that was a really good keyword and little trigger for him to get those pull-ups done, and etc, etc. So yeah, exciting story to tell actually, because it was super powerful for me and a big eye-opener to how powerful finding your why can be. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we'll leave it there for this video. I feel like that's a really good start actually. Yeah, amazing.
So quick review, just get your goal, ask why is this important to me, find the answer, repeat, find the answer, repeat. Even if you hit confusion, if it's uncomfortable, great. If you find emotion, eventually even better, because then you're so much closer to your heart centre and your emotion and the stuff that's going to, the juice you're going to need to conquer your obstacles and finally accomplish your goal. There you go.
That like an awkward. So thank you for watching this video. I feel that's been an awesome introduction into finding our why, definitely. Please feel free to drop me any questions. You can ask Callum any questions on this topic. It's one of his favourites. I get a bit excited about it. But yeah, please fire away with anything that you've got for me. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and thank you once again for being here as part of the Soulful community. It's amazing. It's beautiful having you. So, yeah. Thank you.